Hey, what's going on, everybody? Welcome to my first video for my new channel, all about photography. And I'm really excited to do this channel. It's pretty much really long overdue. I've been doing photography for a little bit over 3 years now. Still very much a novice. I'm still learning a lot. But I've been watching some people on YouTube and seeing what they're doing, and I recognize that for me, I just need an excuse to get out and take photos. We all are looking for inspiration. We're all needing that inspiration to strike us to get out there and to do photos and to go out and do what we love to do. And I've been holding off on doing a photography channel, my personal photography channel, just because I see so much of it out there. But I'm recognizing why people are doing it. You know, it's really gives you that motivation to get out there on a daily basis and perfect this craft that so many love and enjoy of photography, and how photography has grown and what it's morphed into now. It's a very exciting world that we live in, the ability to share our stuff, the ability to edit our stuff digitally. It's really, really great. So I want to welcome you guys to my first kind of intro video, talking a little bit about what this whole channel is going to be about and how it's going to differ from most channels. And I've titled it, photography from a new perspective. That just basically means photography from my perspective. And one perspective that I hold, and I try to let this reign true for everything that I do, is to not be a carbon copy, right? I see a trend going on in the photography world, and that is there are the trend setters and then the trend followers. And what you see someone coming up with a genius, brand new kind of photography perspective or idea or an editing technique, and then everyone kind of follows suit and kind of copies one another. And, I'm not saying it's wrong. Like, you think of a painter, we looked up to certain painters, or you look up to certain composers or certain photographers that have been in the past, and we love what they do. They're kind of mentors to us, and we follow what they do, and that's fine. What I mean is to just always be the trend follower and never truly finding who you are in the world of photography. What is your unique fingerprint in the world of photography, right? What sets your photos apart? What basically, can someone look at your photo and know that's your photo, or is it just a carbon copy of, and no one knows where it originated from, right? That's kind of the sad truth about this photography world is, we look at all these photography trends that are going on, and someone started that. Someone had the original unpatented idea on a certain technique, and then it just kind of gets hijacked. I'm not saying that's wrong, but I'm saying we all want to develop our own technique. Some people like to call it a niche, but then all niches are tried to copy and try to improve upon. And I'm really wanting to be someone. I don't do this. I don't go and look at the popular photography techniques and try to follow that. I'm all about learning photography. I want to learn and I want to grow in my photography and composition and in lighting and all those things. I want to grow in different techniques and different know-hows. How do you get this type of shot? But what I don't want to do is I don't want to get caught up in just copying everything that I'm seeing. And so I don't go look at what are the trends right now and try to copy that. I try to go out on a day like today. It's a beautiful rainy day. It's kind of funny to say beautiful rainy, but in a photographer's perspective, it's a beautiful rainy day today. Perfectly overcast. I'm just waiting for the rain to die down just a little bit so I don't have to worry about trying to take an umbrella and keep my camera dry. But I'm excited to go out and do some photos because I love the rainy day photos. I'm in Central Oregon here, up at the high altitude, and I'm excited to go out. So basically what I want to do is kind of real quick, just kind of talk a little bit about, my setup and how I'm rolling, my kind of editing setup. I guess the weakest area of my photography is the editing process. I really don't like editing as much as maybe some do. I do like editing, don't get me wrong. I love making my photos look, that much more and give it that pop, but I really like to keep my editing as simple as possible. Right? And I don't like to do a ton of over editing. I like to do as much as I possibly can in camera first and foremost. And so I try to keep it simple. almost kind of like the old days with the film. You had to compose your shot, you had to set, you know, all of your settings and then get that shot, and then hopefully in the dark room you'd be able to get something pretty cool. I like to keep it like that. And so really, I've actually simplified my editing process almost to the point where I'll basically now just transfer my images from my camera onto my phone. This might seem like almost like a sin in the photography world, but I'll just transfer them onto my phone, and then really I'm just kind of just slightly tweaking little things here and there, even on the simple phone, my phone app on my iPhone. If I'm looking for a specific look, I'll go into Lightroom on my computer, and I'll touch some things up there, or I'll use the Lightroom mobile app. But for me, simple is better. And then for others, you know, making it, you know, using Photoshop and all these things are great too. But for me, it's the simpler the better. And I try to make my shots very, very simple and do as minimal editing as possible, and do everything in camera. Now, with that being said, I'm not an expert at any of this. So you're going to be coming along on this journey with me, and I'm just learning. And I'm trying different techniques, and I'm trying different things. But one of the things I can't stress enough is I don't try to go out and follow the trends or things that I see on Instagram and go, okay, I want to do that. I want to recreate that. No, I really try to go out and and try to have a clean slate in my mind and go out and make photos, just as inspiration and striking, and it's not coming from something that I've seen online. So I'm going to talk a little bit about what I'm running with, and then I'll show you kind of my desk setup here. And yeah, this is just an intro, and then we'll see kind of how this videography in the sense of YouTube kind of develops, and kind of the technique, or showing you guys how does it go for, you know, I'm learning too, YouTube, and so I'm going to be doing videography and photography and how to capture that in a captivating way over YouTube, as well as doing some YouTube lives and everything like that. So I'm going to show you my quick little setup that I'm rolling with right now. And I've been a photographer about just about 3.5 years. And so I'm rolling with a Sony a6000 with a small rig camera cage, a 50mm fixed prime lens, the 50mm f1.8 by Sony. I actually have a newer macro 10mm macro adapter on here right now at the moment, but I usually don't shoot with that other than when I'm going out and doing macro shots. And then I made kind of a little makeshift little wood handle here, to kind of give me, I have really big hands, so to kind of give me a little bit extra grip. As you guys know, the a6000 is very small and petite, and so sometimes the grip, it can just seem a little bit too small, so I like having that extra palm grip there to have something to hold on to. I am going to update this camera case. It just came out with an update, or not just came out, but just recently came out with an update to where you can buy a wood grip to go on the front here, and I think I'm going to like that much better than my current setup. Something I want to talk about real quick about this a6000 is you might be asking, well, they've had an a6300, an a6500, why you know, the a6000? Well, it's very simple. I'm very simple in the way that I do my photography. I ran with the a6000 with a kit lens for 3 years without once ever trying a different lens, and now the 50mm lens is the first lens that I've got outside of that, and I did everything on the kit lens. The kit lens is actually a fantastic lens. It's not as sharp, it's not the sharpest lens, but I mean, it's so versatile, and I used it for so many things. And then finally I wanted to step up to a 50mm prime. I went back and forth between the 35mm and the 50mm, and I just came to the conclusion that for me and my artistic style, I really like the 50mm, especially because it hits two realms, photography, and then it's a fantastic, for me, a fantastic video lens as well when I shoot video with this. And you're asking me why didn't I upgrade to the a6500? Well, it's simply this. There's a lot of upgrades, obviously, in the 6500, especially the touchscreen. I mean, I'm sure the touchscreen is amazing. Everyone's raving about it. But it comes down, for me, image quality. The image quality hasn't changed at all. It's the exact same image quality, right? And so for me, there's a lot of new bells and whistles, a lot of new features. But when it comes to just like, at the end of the day, when you're taking a shot, now don't get me wrong, there's a lot of awesome features, but at the end of the day, when you're taking a shot, it's the same image quality. And that's what really has made me, you know, step back from upgrading, because I go, as far as the images go, there's bells and whistles, but at the end of the day, you compare the images, they're pretty much identical. So what I am holding off for is I would love to see them come out with you know, the A6700 or whatever you want to, you know, whatever ends up happening, and they've actually upped the image quality to something like the A7R, where it's like a 40 megapixel camera. Now, are they ever going to do that? I don't know, but maybe then I would consider. If the image quality changes, I might consider that. But as far as right now, the A65 or the A6000 is still blowing me away all the time with the images I'm getting out of this, especially with this new 50mm prime. If you guys haven't checked out this lens, the OSS, excuse me, the f1.8 OSS, is a fantastic lens, super sharp lens, awesome low light. I did some night photography last night or 2 nights ago, and was just loving it, just loving everything about this lens. I love it. And some might think, man, you know, I can't really go with the 50mm focal length. It seems to be a little bit too narrow for what I like to do. Why I like it is you can do street photography with it, but it's also a fantastic portrait lens. With the crop sensor, it comes out to about a 74-75mm lens, so it's an amazing portrait. So if I ever decide that I want to flip from kind of street style photography, then all of a sudden then go to just straight portraits, if I'm taking a portrait of my wife or my kids, it's so versatile in that area. And I right now in my current circumstances, I'm really only able to do street photography where I'm at right now. So I just kind of go around and walk around, and I'm loving it. And then the f1.8, fantastic for low light. So I've been loving going out at night and doing night street photography. Great, getting the shadows, especially on rainy days where you get the light bouncing off the road and everything like that. It creates for awesome creativity. And I've also been running with this thing. Obviously I shoot in RAW, but I love changing it to where through the viewfinder I see it in black and white. So I run out at night in black and white, shooting in RAW. So I obviously get the black and white, but also I can convert it back to color if I need to. But I just am loving running with this setup right now. And then I got this camera rig, or the cage around here. I did get a handle in case I wanted to do any kind of different angles for doing videography. And I just like having a little bit more of a rugged feel where I feel like I could drop this and I wouldn't have to worry as much, because this thing is just so rugged with this setup. So yeah, I'm going to basically cut it off short here. I got to keep this, I want to keep this shorter, but you know, let me know in the comments kind of what you're rolling with, what your favorite street photography setup is. What your thoughts on the A6000 are, or the A6500. Maybe comment in why you think I still should switch to the A6500. If there's anything else that I maybe have missed about it that could help. But I'm excited for the videos I'm going to be coming out with here soon. Just basically me rolling around town doing some street photography, and maybe you guys can learn something. And then comment in, please. And I'm always having an open ear for learning different techniques and different things like that. Real quick, I want to show you my setup here. I'm just going to turn the camera around. This is my desk setup. Right now I just have my 2011 MacBook Pro hooked up to my 37-inch flat screen. I do have these other monitors too. I do use it on occasion. And I just don't, I need to upgrade my computer to be able to roll with 3 monitors at the same time. And then I have an amazing Zvox subwoofer and speaker system there when I'm doing video stuff. And then I have my mic here that I'm rolling with, the Blue microphone, which is great for doing I'll be doing a lot of basically commentary too behind my videos. So that's my setup, guys, and this is what I'm doing all my editing on. And then if I'm not doing it on here, I'm doing it on my phone and everything like that. So yeah, so again, welcome to my channel. Turn on the notifications, like, comment, subscribe, and basically we're just going to be rolling with the adventures of a Perspective Knox, rolling with me, learning new techniques and showing you guys how I like to go out and shoot, my kind of workflow and everything like that. So appreciate it, guys. I'm excited to go on this adventure. I have no idea still what I'm going to do totally, but I want to just get out there and do what we love, shooting photography. So thanks, guys. Bye.